Between 30 to 50 percent of the men, they will experience premature ejaculation. It can be short term or long term. And this problem is the most common cause of the divorce or unhappy relationship. And not only that, it is one of the most important reason for stress and a non-healthy personal life too. It's not only about the relationship. And the good news is that over 90% of the premature ejaculation are treatable and we can have control over our climax or orgasm. Now let's see how we can do it. Among academic and research center, there are different definitions for premature ejaculation. The first one that is offered by Masters and Johnson in 1970, it looks like more comprehensive. And based on this definition, premature ejaculation is an inability of the man to delay and control ejaculation until their partner reach to the point of the orgasm in over 50% of the intercourse attempts. In that case, that we called it normal. If it become less than that, we can label it as a premature ejaculation. But in this definition, there is some defect and lack of the important factor, and that is that many women, the role of the women in this process is not included. And we know that many women, they have delay orgasm or they have anorgasmia. They cannot get to the orgasm. So we have to keep in our mind this exception. And even in this situation, most of the men can control or they can reach to the orgasm without control between 3 to 8 minutes. That is the normal timing from ejaculation time, or more accurate, intravaginal ejaculatory latency time, from the time that penetrates. It can be through the vagina, anal, or oral, any of them that has straight and contact to the penis. In that case, most of the men, voluntary or involuntary, in normal situation, can get orgasm between 3 to 8 minutes. So having 3 to 8 minutes delay, that will consider as a normal sex activity for a male. For female is a little longer. That is the reason we need the guys, men, have some control to let the partner get to the same level and they get experience for orgasm. Based on the International Society of Sexual Medicine, premature ejaculation categorized and divided in two groups. One group are primary, that in that case, person from the beginning, from the first time they have first intercourse experience, doesn't matter natural or artificial, they get orgasm and ejaculation in less than 1 minute, and this process continue and happen later. So we called it, to this type of the premature ejaculation, primary. In this group of people, usually genetic factor play a major roles, and in these people, some genes that has involved, they have a role and control those neurotransmitter receptors in the uh, mechanism of the sex. They have some malfunctioning due to the genetic variant. In this group of the people, medication is the first step and most useful treatment for premature ejaculation. Even though the other technique and treatment for premature ejaculation can help them too, but the medication is the first step. The second group are secondary premature ejaculation. In this secondary premature ejaculation, the men had normal sexual life and ejection time between 3 to 8 minutes. But for any reason, for a short time or long term after that, they experience ejaculation less than 3 minutes after penetration and starting intercourse. In that definition, doesn't matter how many times. If some they use criteria for the months, 6 months. If it's continue, they label it as premature ejaculation, or more or less. The most important is that our ejection time from time to time will be different. As long if this process happen most of the time for a period of the time, 1 month, 2 months, doesn't matter, and it affects their interpersonal relationship, we is better we take it as a premature ejaculation and get help and treat. That is very easy treatable. But we have to remember, as I mentioned, the premature ejaculation not only cause the interpersonal relationship problem, it affect the personality aspect of the person, including decreasing self-esteem, low self-confidence, decreasing sex drive or libido. It causes anxiety, and the most important other problem with this situation is they get erectile dysfunction too. In fact, uh, about half of the people with premature ejaculation, they will experience erectile dysfunction, so they cannot have good erection or they have some problem with erection, and vice versa. Many men with erectile dysfunction, they will have or they will get premature ejaculation too. So they go hand to hand and uh, exaggerate and make it worse each other. Here is some interesting fact about the orgasm that I would like to mention. First of all, uh, men can have orgasm without ejaculation, especially in this those people they took out their prostate. Still, they can have orgasm even they don't have those organ like seminal vesicle and prostate for the ejaculation, but still they can have experience orgasm. Second, people, men can have ejaculation without erection and orgasm. This usually happen in adolescence life, especially during life, during sleeping. It can happen many young people experience, and it has shown that we can have this type of the experience ejaculation without orgasm. But in the life and in the when you are awake, this process usually doesn't happen unless there are some medication has been used. The intensity of the orgasm from one time to another time can be completely different. So even the intensity and the gratification and pleasure will be different depending of the many factor, including situation, partner, emotional state, and many other factor. So we have to know that one, and we experience that in any situation, especially those has some attached to the emotional and stressful. Those usually very strong but very short. The correct sex that has with the foreplaying and very relaxing environment and prepare very well. Usually they are most important type of the intercourse for relationship, and has very high quality of the orgasm and pleasure, especially after while in the older age, middle age above, after a while this type of the intercourse play a role, and opposite of the people they think their sex life has been decreased. No, if they have a good relationship and know how they prepare and act, they can have better sex life after a while, not decrease. And another is that some study show that we have in the men, we have something almost equal to the G spot. Later we talk about that in the female, but prostate massage can create the orgasm that has a stronger contraction, especially at the time of the orgasm, those rhythmic muscular contraction, in the normal intercourse penile orgasm. We have 5 to 8 contraction almost every second, but in those people that they had experience with prostate massage, they can have a stronger orgasm, and contraction even can go to up to 12 contraction. And but because that feeling is awkward for many men, they don't like this type of the experience. There are many uh, hormone and neurotransmitter and drug or medicine can affect on the erection and ejaculation and orgasm, that later in treatment I'm going to talk about those medication a little more detail. Most common cause of premature ejaculation are psychologic problem or psychologic factors, not problem. At top of them is anxiety, that it can be in different way and has different aspect for anxiety, that we are going to talk about all these factors in detail. My focus on this clip will be most of them on this group. After that, there are sexual experience, especially negative sex experience, and childhood development and childhood sexual experience, especially child abuse, sexual child abuse at top of them, and some personal disorder. Those are the most important factor that play major roles and most cause of the premature ejaculation. The other cause of those premature ejaculation go to the category of biologic factors or biogenic factors. That top of them I talk about those primary premature ejaculation that has some mutation in some gene that involve with the receptors in the sexual activity. And after that, some people they have very hypersensitive genital area, especially glands. And other biologic factor are endocrine problem. At top of them is chronic diabetes, uh, any other chronic disease including hyperthyroidism, low vitamin B12, and oral urologic condition, especially chronic prostatitis, neurologic problem that involve those neuron in the sexual activity that we talk about that in the first clip. And here I should emphasize about some drug effect and cause premature ejaculation. At top of them are amphetamine, cocaine, Antipsychotic and antidepressant. Some antidepressant can cause premature ejaculation. Those chronic diseases that affect all aspects of the body and physiology of the body, including chronic renal failure like the diabetes, all of them they can cause uh, premature ejaculation. But the role and percentage of them is very low, is not too much common. Most of the cause are psychological factor that in this clip I am focusing more on those causes. Anxiety is one of the most important and supportive and protective function of the brain. Whenever our brain or mind feel there is some problem or there is trouble or some threaten, the mechanism of anxiety will be activated. In that case, many structure of and part of the brain start over activity, and those functioning and fire up the neuron affect all aspect of our body, from the brain to eyes, ear, and all other organs, heart, muscle, GI, everything. Those mechanisms prepare ourselves for fixing that problem or facing that problem, that we our body is prepared to challenge that situation for protecting ourselves or improving ourselves or changing the situation. That is a normal reaction of our body in those situations, that is not unwanted or is a little different. For example, if we have exam, in that case we get some nervous anxiety, worry. That level causes go to study, put some more time, have be more attentive, eliminate the other does not necessary. Or if we have meeting, we go prepare ourselves, how we behave, how we talk, we go research, all those stuff. So everything, those reaction anxiety is good at that level, and prepare ourselves and improve ourselves or condition and environment. But whenever this anxiety go beyond that normal level, beyond the supportive and protective level, and that is unproportional to the reality that we are thinking, in that case those mechanisms go beyond the normal, and we called it that situation anxiety disorder, anxiety disorder, social anxiety disorder, phobia, and all those different type of the anxiety disorder. The anxiety based on the what is the factor and how our brain developed can be feeling as the anger, as a worriness, nervousness, fear, phobia, and so on. So in that case, when it goes to the level of the disorder, that highest level of the activity of uh, anxiety or brain mechanism will be activated, that we called it fight or flight. So the brain take it as a matter of the life and death, and prepare us to fight that situation and protect or escape from that situation. That is the highest level of this mechanism of the brain. At this level, one of the result will be hyperactivity of autonomic nervous systems. That one of those autonomic nervous system response is hyperactivity of sympathetic nervous system, and hyperactivity of sympathetic nervous system can cause premature ejaculation because is the most important and nervous circuit that cause orgasm and ejaculation. So that is the reason the anxiety is play very critical role in most of cases of premature ejaculation. Those anxiety that involve with the premature ejaculation can be different. One of them is those negative thought about the sex or about the opposite or female. What Whenever we have a negative thought, for example, we learned and or our belief system think the sex is negative, a bad thing, is a sin, is disgusting, or women are bad, or they are just for money. All those negative thoughts, its brain take it as a threatening and problem. And one of the easiest way to get rid of that situation and for get rid of that situation, it cause us get premature ejaculation because it won't take care of us and escape from that situation. Or when we have a conflict with our two different emotion opposite each other. For example, we are upset from our partner, our the female partner, wife, and but in other way, we feel guilty if we show our angry and hostility. We feel guilty and we cannot express our angry and upset about our partner. These two conflict, the only way can fix this problem if we cannot express it is that uh, activating this mechanism. And with this mechanism, we express unconsciously our hostility through the premature ejaculation. Or another situation that can cause premature ejaculation related to the anxiety is performance anxiety. This is like the social anxiety. We have some anxiety disorder when we want to have a lecture or speak in front of the people or play a role. We get anxiety is the same as almost the same as that, but only in front of the our partner. And we the most important consequence is that we fear of the how our partner feel, if I can do correct way, if I can perform very well or not, is my partner will be satisfied or not. In that case, this anxiety occupy all the brain and emotion of the person and doesn't let that process of the normal physical and emotional sexual activity happen and focus on that. And those movement and uh, technique that we have to use for controlling our orgasm and ejaculation will be disrupted and finally cause premature ejaculation. Regarding to anxiety and premature ejaculation, generally, if the person has the same problem with partner or without partner, for example, with masturbation or with another partner or partners, if at all those situations person still has premature ejaculation, most probably the problem of the person is not anxiety. But if the person has good timing and controlling on ejaculation, orgasm and ejaculation with the masturbation or with another or specific partner, in that case, anxiety is the major and main reason for premaculation on that person. Another factor that play a role, very important role in premature ejaculation is sex technique, how we have sex. Those factor are pace or tempo, how much fast our movement during intercourse. Faster movement, it increase our level of the maximum faster. So if we want to control that on the treatment, we will talk about that. We have to make it slow and gentle. Another is the type and depth of the trust during intercourse. Usually stronger and deeper trust penetration can increase the speed of the uh, orgasm. The next one is position. Each person is different based on their experience and conditioning. Is Each person can have different position that affect their timing of ejaculation. Generally, being at the top, if the men are on the top, usually it increase speed of the orgasm. So, but again, each person is completely different. Person should find out which position is better for them. Especially some position is better for controlling the contraction of the pelvic muscle, because one of the important factor for controlling our orgasm is we learn how we relax our pelvic muscle. That on treatment we are going to talk about that. Another is important situation. If we are in stress and our mind is completely busy with other stuff, we are on the stress environment or our job or whatever it is, if it goes a lot of things in our mind, most probably we will have very ejaculation at very fast ejaculation. So being attentive at that moment, at that present, is very important for controlling the this process of the orgasm. Later we talk about that, what technique we have to use. Master and Johnson, the two pioneers of sex science, suggested that those people had intercourse experiences at the beginning of their sexual life in an awkward and unrelaxing and optimal situation. Uh, in other words, they have the rush intercourse, like having sex in a back of seat or some public place, or they have intercourse with prostitute. Those people have, there is a chance that developed premature ejaculation in later life due to conditioning. And they suggested that if the person at early stage of their intercourse life, they had 2 or 3 times such experience, the chance for this problem increases. Another factor that play in premature ejaculation is a frequency of sexual activity. How many times person has sex during time, week or months? And it seems, at least theoretically, it can those people that have more often sex, once or once or twice a day, or at least 2 3 times a week, they have chance have more control over their ejaculation. And those that has less intercourse, their body become more sensitive to the stimulation and get easier to the maximum level. The other factors for premature ejaculation are sexual abuse, hatred of women, and arousability. Sexual abuse, especially in the childhood sexual abuse, has a major prelude to the sexual dysfunction in adult life among the women and men both. The damage and the consequence of the childhood sexual abuse, dependent of the severity of the abuse, it was penetrative or non-penetrative, it was painful or not painful, it was how many times, the age of the differences, the relationship between the abused and abuser. All of them play a different role for consequence and damage for later of their life. Generally, this group of the people, about half of them, they will have experience sexual dysfunction that it can be as a premature ejaculation or decrease their sexual libido, sex drive, or they can have delay ejaculation and many other sexual disorder that is very common among those people. And as I mentioned, there are a lot of factors. Still, we don't know how much, but without any doubt, they will have some sexual dysfunction in later of their life. Another psychology factor that some psychologists believe and psychoanalytic specialists believe that those people, they had consciousness or unconsciousness, some hate about the women for any reason, experience, their childhood experience or adulthood experience, their relationship with their female in their life, mom and sibling, and all of them can affect in some way in those people, but we don't know how much and what will be a result. But at least in theory, they can cause it can cause some kind of the premature ejaculation. And the arousability is some people is not is objective. Some people, they think they are very sensitive and they erect very easy and fast, and so that is the reason they had premature ejaculation. But we don't have any control study about this factor. Here we finish second part. Those biologic factors will be discussed in the third part, that include management and treatment of the premature ejaculation and controlling orgasm. Up to the next time. Have a wonderful time.